Lads, lasses, and all of God's masses, welcome back. My legal name is C28. And today we had our final day of pop culture in media. So this class is completed now. Still have some assignments to do, so it's not like complete. In the past, I haven't shot this ordinal video log of the last of the class until I complete all the assignments, but all the concepts are touched on, everything's hit. I can sum up the class pretty well. So today, let's get to my notes. So today we were briefly touching again on transmedia, different symbols, media convergence, globalism. So just kind of brushing up on those again. We explored how the Marvel IP has kind of transcended everything. It's gone from comics to TV to films and board games, video games, VR games, in-person events at Universal and Disney and all sorts of things. So Marvel's like the pro at multimedia. Disney as a whole is pretty much a pro at transmedia. So that kind of sums up almost everything. What is that squealing sound? It's a bird. It's very loud. But regardless of that bird, we had a few discussions in class. So we had first a talk on how the idea of being okay with sexualization has changed within society. We were shown some examples from I Love Lucy and other sitcoms where couples being in bed together was even seen as something that's kind of risque. Oh no. And nowadays you got ridiculous things like Cardi B performing WAP on FCC networks with extreme nudity and crazy stuff. And somehow they felt the need to censor the lyrics, not wet, but which I didn't even say because that's wild. But we touched on this previously in week 2, I believe, where we explored how our values as a society have changed. They have changed tremendously, and great examples that of sexuality and just sex as a topic has been really loose in society in the common era. And it's a thing that has continued to grow that way. It's not new that we're saying, oh my goodness, everything is so sexualized. In the 70s, they were saying that. In the 30s, they were saying that. It's always us pushing the status quo. And it seems like things are getting a little bit more chaotic. Maybe not quite as godly as we'd hope, but it is what it is. So we explored some examples after getting into groups together of how we've seen some portrayals of sex and sexuality in media that have kind of pushed the status quo a bit. They maybe wouldn't have had the opportunity to do so 10 or even 5 years prior. One of the most notable examples is the show Euphoria, which showcases stuff I can't even say on YouTube because I'll get maybe the FBI knocking on my door. It's, if you know, you know. But also in shows like Fallout, spoiler for Fallout, if you haven't seen the series yet, go ahead and skip forward like a minute or so. But in Fallout, in the first few minutes of the pilot episode, there's always so much talk about sex and breeding in the vault. And eventually the main character, Lucy, has her partner picked for her from another vault. And the first thing they do when they get into her quarters is the fella just drops all the clothing and looks at Lucy, and Lucy just goes, okie dokie. And then a really intense sex scene plays out just like that. Like, whoa, went from 0 to 100 real quick. That's a great example of what we're talking about, is that would not have happened maybe even 5 years ago. That's so fast. That is wild. But it passes in modern media. So, and I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad. I have my own personal beliefs of how things should or shouldn't be portrayed, but I'm not the director. Just to note that things have changed. It's important to be aware of these changes within the industry, not just to not get shocked by it, but also to be aware of how the audience may perceive something. So it's very important to analyze these trends so that you can accurately assess how the audience will receive things. We have these discussions every week called the Pop Culture Moment of the Week, where we discuss the topics of the class in the context of some real world stuff. So the first week, I believe we are talking about different forms of media and how we either stream things. I think it was about, does streaming make going to the cinema less significant or like less popular or something along those lines? I forget exactly what the questions were, but we were talking about streaming versus cinema and how that dynamic has interacted. Then the week after, we talked about how the shift to music streaming. Yeah, of course, I had to pull it up. I forgot. So there goes the magic of the cut. But yeah, how streaming has changed music. So topics of what roles do fans and fandoms play in this, and whether we agree or disagree that fan-based royalties are a good future. So like SoundCloud is rolling out a process where they split up the payment that you're giving them to the artists that you are listening to, which I think is a pretty decent model. Here it is. Okay, so what I said about week 1, that was actually week 2 again. This was meant to be for week 3, but because we had a Hall of Fame week, we didn't do it. So the actual thing we did during week 1 was discussing the roles of influencers. So talking about, there's a documentary, I talked about it in the first video log. I believe it was the first video log. Pretty sure. Where you can essentially make a fake influencer just by living out this fancy life on Instagram or whatever. And so we discussed that. But yeah, again, today we had that. And then we changed out our pop culture moment of the week to talk about this. Oh, that's not it. Well, that's frustrating, isn't it? Why is it not showing the updated one? So, our pop culture moment of the week initially was moved over to an integrative learning assignment where we're talking about how artificially intelligent voice models are able to replace voice actors or even singers, discussing different ways in which these models are able to resurrect artists. Say, imagine having, and I think I discussed this before, Jimmy Buffett singing more songs with his voice, even though he has unfortunately passed away. Interesting. Maybe not something for Jimmy Buffett. I don't think that's really his style. But imagine like, I think a model based off of Tupac would be brilliant. Tupac is a truly adored artist when he was alive and when he's not alive too. He's still adored to this day for who he was as a person. Maybe a little bit of an interesting past, but who he was as a person. He was very loyal, very true, and helped uplift a lot of people. So a lot of people took a liking to Tupac. It'd be interesting to see an artificially intelligent model based off of Tupac continue today. Imagine artificially intelligent celebrities. That's fascinating. That's not in the talk. I'm just bringing that up, but that's kind of the reason why these talks exist, is to bring those topics up. So instead of that, because that's now an assignment, we had a talk on celebrity accountability for their actions. So, 2 main things that were brought up. Thing 1 was Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. We know. The slap. We discussed, was that reasonable? How should that have been handled? What roles do celebrities have in portraying proper ways to conduct themselves? We talked about as well, there was a moment where Mike Tyson was being harassed by a passenger on an aircraft, some influencer trying to be funny or whatnot, taking photos and threatening to fight him, kicking him and whatnot, throwing water on him. And eventually Mike Tyson just does what he does best. Yeah, not very fun encounter for the influencer. Also, that probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, punching this microphone. But it is not a condenser microphone, so it can handle some abuse, even if it shouldn't have been given any. And there are a bunch of different things, different points brought up in class that from the legal system is a legal system, just proportional force, use it to defend yourself, whatever. And as well, celebrities tend to have a lot of money. And when you have a lot of money, you can afford really good lawyers. When you can afford really good lawyers, the law doesn't really apply to you. Now, of course, Will Smith is still banned from attending the Emmys anytime. Is it the Emmys? I think it's the Emmys. It's the Oscars. I was wrong. I don't really follow it a whole lot. But anyway, at the Oscars, he's banned from that for 10 years. So I think he's got about 8 years left, something like that. 9 years, something along those lines. I forget exactly when it happened. I think it was 2022. So yeah, he's got about 8 years left. I can see the transient from when I punched my microphone. That was such a bad idea. I should not have done that. But the class is essentially wrapped up for now. We have one more assignment, 2 more assignments really. We have our 4.8, which is where we are exploring one bit of media. And I've already completed this assignment, and I don't know, I might convert some of it into the video essay on Portal 2. I'm changing up how I'm doing it. It's not going to be the songs and sounds of Portal 2 anymore. It's going to be the audio of Portal 2. There are a lot of awesome things that Valve did in terms of voice acting with Portal 2, especially the different accents they did for that joke. Remember that joke where Wheatley is letting you escape and he goes,
"Hey, buddy, I'm speaking in an accent that is beyond her range of hearing."
And that scene is done in every language with different accent. There's a Quebec accent done for French. There's an Argentinian accent done for Spanish. And just every version of the game does the same joke. They put the effort in for that. And this too, when Wheatley is taken over, when he takes over the facility and he is realizing his newfound intelligence, he speaks in Spanish saying, I don't know what the Spanish was, but basically saying,
Estás usando este software de traducción de forma incorrecta. Por favor, consulte el manual.
I don't even know what I just said, but I can find out.
The joke lands in every single language, because in Spanish he says,
It seems that you are using this translation tool incorrectly. Please check the manual.
No sé ni lo que acabo de decir, pero puedo averiguarlo.
In the Russian, I believe, or the German, it's also English, but it's in a different accent of English that's like a foreign accent.
You are using this translation software incorrectly. Please consult the user manual.
Was habe ich da gerade gesagt? Egal, ich kann's abrufen.
They incorporated the cultural expectation of speaking a different language means smart in each language, which was really well done. So again, that 4.8 assignment is having us go over how that media piece is part of pop culture, how it's influenced culture, how it's influenced other media, different aspects of transmedia, media convergence, globalism, how all these things play a role in this game. So of course, globalism with the different languages and whatnot, transmedia with the Portal 2 comic of Doug Ratman, with the other forms of entertainment it provides. Like they're the little videos inside of Portal 2. We can watch videos of the Aperture Science promotional stuff. Maybe you could count the fan films, but Portal 2 is a pretty good example for this. And then the other assignment is answering those questions about artificially intelligent models acting as voice actors. So I'll complete that after this video log. I do still have another video log to edit. The previous video log, I have yet to edit it together. I shot it 2 days ago, but didn't get around to doing it because I was working on my 4.8 assignment. So that's done now. Still got to do the 4.7, I believe, and then watch another integrative learning, and then I'm done. I really hope this is one of the classes that I get a 100% in. I have 100% right now, and I think I'm doing really well with the assignments. So I'm hopeful that I'll keep 100%. We'll see. But yeah, the integrative learning, you got these all over the place. So instead of having lab for this class, we have online assignments that we complete. So we have videos to watch that go over different lessons. It logs, making sure we're actually reviewing them, and then they come up later in some assignments. So we have to talk about those things, making sure like, hey, did you actually watch it? Did you actually pay attention? Did you read those articles? And then you just mark it as complete when you're done. So 3 little assignments, maybe less actually. Do I have 2 left? One of them is the lecture. Okay, let me mark that off real quick. Ha ha ha, I completed lecture. Yay. Okay, that's good. But yeah, just got those 2 left and then I'm done. So wrapping up the class, how was it? Great. Dr. Council did an outstanding job working through this class, building the different things, working with her team, and it was well made. I think the way in which topics were introduced, they're fluidly brought in, things made sense. The in-class activities were well orchestrated. Is that the right word to use? I'm going to pretend that like it is. And the workload is not insane. There were a few times when I was not able to make my content for YouTube because I was focusing on the class. But honestly, I'm in university. That's fine. And I was going a little bit overboard with some of the work. Like, The 4.8 assignment, I wrote like 2,000 words when it was only meant to be like 3 small 6 to 8 sentence paragraphs, and I ended up writing like 2,000 words. Got really in depth with it. I'm started using GPT 4.0 to help me navigate making my assignment. So I'll upload the rubric to 4.0 and then ask it, hey, basically interview me and ask me these questions, and then use my responses to draft out like a bulleted list of the skeletal framework of this assignment. And then I just build it from there. I ask it, hey, what areas of research could we look into? And then it'd give me different research areas. I look at the articles, read the articles. It's my assistant for doing these assignments, and it's so good. And by the end, I can upload the skeletal framework to it, and we can just have a chat for a few minutes, and then it'll build out from my responses a fully completed essay in my words. It's great. So a lot of people are using these large language models to cheat and just kind of make it write the essay for them. Yeah, you could do that. You're not learning anything from that. And if someone catches you just saying, generate my essay for me, that's not going to look good, mate. But when you use these machines intelligently, when you're able to actually use them to get work done, and you're actually putting work in, it ends up being a little bit more work than just doing it standard by just reading and doing things. But you get a higher quality product, and the workflow is amazing. It's a lot easier in terms of labor, but it's a little bit more difficult in terms of thinking. There are many more things that 4.0 has made me think about in terms of how I can connect things fluidly, transition different sections together, different aspects to consider. And it made just a really quality assignment from all the things that it's helped direct me down. So I'm going to use it in the future. That's 4.0. GPT 4.0 has done an outstanding job navigating this. And especially with the memory and how it's learned to interact with me, I think I might fire Miss Modulations. Don't tell her. But I think I'm going to fire Miss Modulations because she doesn't have the same memory that 4.0 has. She doesn't have access to it. 4.0 is learning for me, which is great. I know OpenAI can be a little bit with your information, but I don't have like personal information of like my social security number is or something like I use for banking or whatever. Like I don't use any of that. That's not information it has. It has more information like my workflow, how I produce stuff, my taste, my interests in things. And OpenAI is not known for being a data broker. They're just using that stuff to train their models. So I'm okay with them using that data if they do happen to use it. But officially they're not using it. But I mean, BetterHelp also said like officially they're not doing stuff and they're totally a data broker. But OpenAI is not BetterHelp. They're not sponsor of this video that I don't recommend going to because they sell your data. Yeah. BetterHelp is not a very nice platform for that. They may have stopped doing it recently, but the fact that they did it at all and lied to their customers, that's not cool. No, it's not. But anyway, back to pop culture media. The class is outstanding for helping you to think about how to critically analyze different aspects of pop culture. It helps you to navigate the industry by understanding how to follow pop culture, how to understand how cultural trends affect media, how media affects the broader culture. And I think with that, it just makes you a better creator. So it's a great class for understanding how to engage with an audience. I think that's the number one thing I can say that I've taken away from this class is understanding how to better engage with an audience. So that's quite good, especially for you, my audience. So let me know if you see any changes in how my videos feel after this class. Like, oh yeah, you've learned some stuff. Or if I'm just the same, like you didn't learn anything. Let me know. But I give the class a solid A firm C to a seal of approval. It was a good class. I indeed enjoyed it. Up next is Project and Portfolio 3. Where, as I heard, just some eavesdropping here and there and hearing some stuff from other people. Sounds like I'm going to be making a song the whole month. That's cool. So if that's the case, if that's how things work, That's awesome. I'll document the journey. It's actually good content for the channel. So yay, I can do the classwork while also making YouTube. I say that every month. Every month I say that. And guess what? I don't make content. Let's hope this month's different. I don't want to give you empty promises. I don't. That's not my goal. But like, I genuinely want to give you quality content. And it's difficult when my schedule just kind of screws me over. Or I just don't manage my time well. So I'll think about you next time I'm looking at my schedule. Like, should I do this? Should I not do this? Be like, what would my YouTube audience think? Would they be like, C28, you've abandoned me. I feel so abandoned. Why would you do this? And hopefully that'll convince me to not abandon you. But that does it with the full sale stuff. So on to the C28 segment, which I kind of already went into a few times. So screw the transition, I guess. I think it's no surprise that... Oh, there's a dog. Hi, dog. We're gonna stand by until that dog is a little bit more relaxed. Okay, I think it's good. So, yeah. You may be aware that I would consider myself to be a follower of Christ. That Jesus dude from a couple thousand years ago. God himself. Pretty awesome. So I'd like to make more theological content as well. In addition to, I guess, all the different branches of C28 that I keep talking about and maybe not delivering on, just putting it out there. C28 theology, which really would just tie into my music. I had this idea that it'd be really cool to, especially with the large language models we have now, take the Psalms, right? Whole book of the Bible, the Psalms, it's all music, all lyrics to songs. Kind of sounds like songs, psalms, songs. And use a large language model to take whatever the most accurate translation of these psalms are based on the idea and get it to make it rhyme. And get a new translation, I don't know, what would you call it? The artificially intelligent rhyming translation of like just the psalms. I don't know what to call it, but I'm probably not going to call it anything. I'm just going to do it. And then I'd be able to convert the psalms into modern music. Maybe electronic music, maybe something else. But I think it'd be really interesting to explore how the psalms work as just standard songs. Just incorporate them in there. And a lot of the psalms are kind of on the nose. They, of course, talk about God. They, of course, a lot of them mention God directly. But some of them are kind of like just like wisdom on how to live life and stuff like that. And I think it'd be cool to explore turning them into more modern music, especially something that rhymes. I've got a lot of projects on the back burner right now. I think I have 2 kombucha videos. I have an hour-long video log. I have this video log. In the works, I have another kombucha video. I have the Portal 2 audio analysis. That's 6 things. And then I also have a few lives to shoot from mixing and mastering of different songs within Lost Melodies on Live Timbers Volume 2. I have a lot to do. I'm going to attempt to, after I finish shooting this, just compile all my assets together, get them into my video editing software, which soon hopefully will be Final Cut. Right now it's iMovie still. Not great. And then once it's there, work on my class assignments, get the whole class completely finished up, and have a bit of an editing marathon. Get these things done. I say that, but tomorrow I plan to go on a fun little trip. So if I end up not doing it, please reprimand me in the comment section below. If you're like, interesting, this video came out 2 weeks later. You lazy individual. Reprimand me. But the hope is I'll get these out. I think I might focus on the video logs first because those are meant to be ordinal, procedural, and I'm shooting this before I even upload and edit the assets for the previous video log. So that's an issue. Yeah, I need to get that done, don't I? So I will get the assets for this video log. I think I'll edit the previous video log, then edit this video log, and then get things done. But yeah, I should not have put so many things on the back burner. I probably should just got things done and not just screwed about on, I don't know, walking around ponds and heading out to get food and playing PS5. But in lieu of saying all that, let's say this. I hope you enjoyed today's content. If you did, you can subscribe. And YouTube will happily give you more content like this from myself and other creators. The YouTube algorithm, it's pretty smart. And if you super enjoyed it, a lot, and you want to contribute to the channel, you can join. Become a Control Voltage, where you will get access to the Discord server, behind the scenes videos, early access to videos, and some more things down the line. Very fun, very cool. If you have any questions or comments, you can, of course, leave those in the comment section below, and I will get back to them. And if I like your comment a lot, I can put it in the space around me. Very fun. And then I'll respond to it on video, and everyone will see your comment, and you'll be like, oh my goodness, I'm famous, even though at the time of shooting this, we're only about 2,000 strong, which is awesome. But like, you know, maybe not famous, just like we're getting somewhere. We're a pretty cool community, the C28 Music Squad. I don't want that to stick. C28 Control Voltages, even though I call the members Control Voltages. I'll go think of the name. We'll think of something. But yeah, comments. I hope you all take care of yourselves. God be with you. And goodbye, YouTube. I don't know what to do for the transition. I was thinking about doing something for the transition, and I can't think of... Well, you don't go with it.